Today is Sunday, June 30, 2023, and today was a beautiful day. It was one of the first nice days we've had all summer, which is kind of unfortunate because within a month or two it'll be cold again. Looks like the rest of the forecast for this week is going to be pretty moderate, so we're spending a lot of time outside, particularly in the evening and the nighttime. I don't know, I guess maybe the cicadas and the crickets don't like the hot and humid weather, because tonight is the first night that I've heard them. There was nothing last night, and now they're in almost full force tonight. Anyways, I figured tonight would be a perfect night to show an updated video tour of the outside lighting that I have on my property. Lighting setups like this and more to come are one of the things I was looking forward to when I finally had my own property. So let's take a look at what we got. Some things have remained the same, and there's been a couple of additions. So this is what the deck looked like. The deck has these string lights on there along the house and then all along the railing. And these string lights provide pretty adequate amount of light here on the deck. You can see everything pretty well. I would like to add some high pressure sodium lights onto the deck. Those two 50-watt fixtures I obtained recently, I'd like to tack one up on there and then one over here if possible. I'm not really sure if that's possible. I don't know what this is made of. It's got some flashing on there. I'm not sure what's underneath there. I would also like to mount a street light up here in the middle of the deck. And I have recently purchased some apparatus that I hope will work, so I'll have to look into that. It's just been too hot to do any kind of labor intensive activities outside. I've had that apparatus for several weeks or a month now, but I just haven't gotten around to it. So here's what the backyard looked like. You can see it is fully illuminated all the way out to the fence. And admittedly, I'm a little nervous to record this video because the last several days, actually the last several weeks, a skunk passes through the yard. And I'm not going to be looking for the skunk, I'm going to be watching the video screen, so hopefully the skunk does not come through in the next few minutes. So we'll start over here. I'm going to put some of the lawn equipment away for the night still. Above the back door we have this Lithonia Lighting 13-watt compact fluorescent light fixture. This is the same form factor as those 50-watt high pressure sodium lights I want to put on the deck. And I'm just noticing that this is absolutely disgusting out here, so I will get this cleaned up soon. I'm very surprised that this light is still operating. I installed this towards the end of last year, I believe. It was already getting cold out, and my speculation was that as soon as it got warm out, it would not work, or the bulb would burn out, because it gets very hot. It's a self-ballasted bulb with the ballast mounted up. Let's just take a look at what the bulb looks like. Oh yeah, it's already severely yellowed. Look at that, from all the heat. There's the brand of the bulb. It's TOSPO, whatever the heck that is, 13 watts, and it's just scalding hot. Not good. So I'm not sure how much longer that will last operating like that. I'm surprised it's lasted as long as it has. especially because the last couple of days, or last couple of weeks rather, it's been high 70s or even 80 something degrees out at night while this is running. And it's clearly getting pretty hot based on the yellowing that's already present after only less than a year of operation. So we'll have to think about replacing that bulb with something else once that goes out, which I imagine has got to be soon. If I had more of those sodium fixtures, I'd put one there, but I just don't. I only have two, and I want those two for the deck. Oh, on the deck we have the three 70 watts high pressure sodium lights. These two of these are the ones that I had at the old location. Those are all still working, and then one of them I bought new at around the time I bought the house. So these are all still going strong. If I came out here in the daytime, I could see which one was the new one, because the shades are actually starting to get pretty cloudy. And these provide brilliant illumination. The stairs are all well lit. The doorways are well lit. The walking path around the sign here and everything is all well lit. And throughout the whole yard you can see the shadow. It's all well lit. I've cleaned up the leaves at night many times under the lighting of these sodium lights. And now back here we have the street light. This is the not Western Electric, it's Telephones. American Electric is the brand. The American Electric 115 street light. It's the 100 watts high pressure sodium street light. I'm not sure what that is. That's kind of weird. Okay. I've really enjoyed this street light out here at all times of the year. In the wintertime when it's dull and desolate out, it's neat to look out and see it. In the summer it's nice to have it to sit outside at night, to look on the phone. I keep trimming this back and it keeps growing. I gotta take another foot or so off the top. I can't see the light from the house anymore. In the next couple of days, maybe sometime this week or the next weekend, I'd like to mount another 115 over there. And then somehow, I haven't figured out how, I'd like one right here to light this part of the pathway, but I just don't know how to do it. I don't want to screw into that tree, because that tree is very important, in my opinion, to the aesthetics of the yard and the area back here, and I don't want to do anything to potentially weaken it. While generally speaking, screwing into trees is not a problem, I don't think the tree's 100%, so I don't want to mess with it. But this is just so cool to have this back here. I enjoy this street light every day. And it casts light pretty far. Now, I suppose if I had a second one over here, it probably, the path would be lit up enough. I could always put some path lights here too, which actually is something I'd like to do now that I think about it. So maybe I don't need a third street light over here, because what I have to balance is the interest of having it well lit and look nice at night, but also not look ridiculous during the day. Right, like that one is inconspicuous. It looks fine over there during the day, but if I had several along the fence, it would look awesome at night, but it would be weird during the day. So, we're gonna see. But if I put one on the end of the fence right there, I think that would be fine. So we'll do that soon. So I think what I have not shown in my last video was the uplighting in the trees here. I have done a video of this because it broke. But this is really neat. This adds a ton of character to the yard at night. Should have filmed with the other camera. I can't get everything in the video. These bulbs are not the original bulbs I had bought for this. These bulbs have a much more narrow cast of light to them, a much more narrow beam, and so they're not illuminating as much of the trees as the other bulbs did. I did recently purchase some gaskets, so I need to put those on and try the other bulbs again. These bulbs my uncle gave to me. They are, I forget what the brand is. He said they were pretty high-end bulbs. They were either Krieg or Philips, I think. They might have been Philips. I don't know where it is, but the neck on these was wide enough that it fit very tight to this rubber gasket that's on here. And so these bulbs made a watertight seal, which is why I opted to use these for now, even though the beam of light is more narrow than I would prefer. The coloring is good on these bulbs. There's no flicker that I notice up in the trees. I haven't tried to use these bulbs in the house, so I have no idea if they do flicker or not. But they're working fine for now. At some point, I have thoughts of expanding this uplighting to maybe add another fixture, maybe on the corner of the deck that shines up into this side, because it does only cast on the trunks of the trees in the very center. But it might be better like that, because it's more of an accent light. If you add another one over here, it might just be a little bit too much. So that's something to play with in the future. But for now, this is what it'll look like that. And we got these here, and then as we come around the side, this area is now well lit. This is lit very, very well now. That is because we have another light here on the side of the house. This is one of those touch and glow fixtures, and so far it has been working perfectly. It's a 70 watts high pressure sodium fixture, and I set this up such that in the winter time, or in Christmas time rather, I can unplug the light and plug in Christmas lights instead. So there's that. And that covers this whole area here very, very well. This was not so much over here, because this would be covered by that light to an extent. But on the other side of the fence was definitely a dark spot. And then you can see the shadow here is coming much more from the light behind me versus the lights over there. Right, there's not much of a shadow here. So this light is primarily, see, my shadow from the lights on the deck is much darker, or much lighter rather, and the shadow from this light is much darker. So this light is what's covering the majority of this area, and this whole portion of the yard is now illuminated. So afraid of that skunk showing up right about now. And now over here is where we're going to really see the difference. There used to be a dark spot over here because you see you don't get the light from the front until about here, which is past this garden. But now this is all bright, and again you can see the shadow is coming from, you know, that's the shadow from the garage light, which is not very much, and this shadow is very distinct. So most of this light over here is now coming from that light. It's interesting to see how these lights behave from a much higher positioning. They do go much further when they're higher up, and the brightness still holds. This is still very bright over here. Like, even though that's in a shadow there, it's not dark. You can still see over there. You could see the skunk if it was to be over there. So that works out really well. This whole area is now lit up, even over to here. You can still see that it's pretty bright over to here, and then, you know, you can see enough to walk around here, but it does start to get, is that the skunk over there? No, I think it's a rock. Oh shoot, that is the skunk, is it? It is. Great. That's the skunk over there by the mailbox. It's in the neighbor's yard right now. Can you see it? There it is. Not good. Alright, well, we're going to have to wrap this up. Here's what it looks like from the side of the house. Here's what it looks like from the front. You've already seen this before. Keeps the flag all lit up all night like it's supposed to be. That daylight sensor is still working. There's light over the garage. Stupid LED street light, which, for what it's worth, the street is lit up pretty well. Really, everything around here has good lighting. You can see the street. The front yard is lit up. The driveway is lit up. I'd like to add another sodium light on one of those trees in there, but that's going to be a much more distant project because the electrical will take some effort to get that out there. Alright, I don't know where I lost sight of the skunk, so I don't want to be outside anymore. I would have liked to have got a shot from the yard over there, but that's where the skunk was, so I'll have to do it some other time. Alright, that's a wrap on this video. Just wanted to show what the lights look like for July 2023. So upcoming next will be another 115 over there, maybe a 115 up here, and then I want to get a mercury vapor fixture to put over here, because this light, I mean, it's useless. The configuration makes no sense. Actually, I never thought about this before, but putting a spotlight up onto that tree would be kind of interesting. But I don't know, that's something to think about. Well, anyways, I want to change it to a mercury vapor fixture, because sometimes I do work over here at night, and having that whiter color is better for task lighting. So that's it for now. Update on the outdoor lighting. Everything's looking pretty good.